皆さん、こんにちは。Uconnect のアーサーです。今日の在日外国人とのインタビューとして、知り合いのBryceさんとお話ししました。Maybe you've actually seen Bryce before. 実はBryceは以前にバイリンガルの動画の何本か、多分スターバックスの注文の仕方という動画に出演したことがありまして、But I've known him for a long time. Bryceは僕が最初に日本に来た時に出会った方で、本当にいろんな面白い話があります。ぜひ今回の対談を楽しみながらリスニングを鍛えましょう。日本語と英語の字幕が両方ついているので、いつでも自分のリスニングを確認できます。よろしくお願いします。Okay, so Bryce, good to see you. Thanks for coming today.
Yeah, anytime.
I don't know. Why are we laughing right now?
Because I came here.
Okay. Yeah, right. I haven't seen you in a really long time,
Yeah.
so
I missed
it's
you,
okay.
man.
Thanks. I kind of miss you too, but now I'm kind of regretting it.
I'm sorry, man.
No, it's okay.
Let's not make Arthur regret letting me into his house.
It's totally fine. Totally fine.
Yeah.
All right. So, but anyways, Bryce. So, yeah, thanks for coming over today.
No problem.
Today I just want to talk with you about your life in Japan, how you got introduced to
Yeah.
Japan, and just how everything's going.
Mhm.
So, how long have you been in Japan now?
So I came to Japan originally in August of 2017. So it's been about like 3 years and 4 months,
Yeah.
3 years, 5 months, something like that.
But we met in 2013 though. Right?
Yeah.
Do you want to
2013.
share that story?
Yeah, sure. Should I do the short version or
Yeah, do the short version.
Okay.
Do the short version.
So yeah, me and my friend Austin were on our way to Japan for the first time. We were just going for vacation for like 2 weeks, right? And we were at the airport waiting for our flight in Seattle, right? And then they said something about our flight, and we're like, oh shoot, we should probably go and figure out what's wrong. So we went up there, and then we saw this guy at the desk, and I was like, oh god, we shouldn't talk to him.
Come on, man.
And then so we were like, oh, we should talk to this guy because like he's going the same route as us, obviously. So I thought it'd be cool to anyways, we started talking, and we ended up sitting next to each other. So he sat directly behind us on the flight to LA.
Yeah, we were originally going to go from like Seattle to some other place and then to LA.
Yeah,
and then
really?
our flight got delayed, so we got directly sent to LAX.
Yeah.
So on that flight, I was behind you guys.
Yeah, so our flight got delayed, and then so we were trying to figure out if we were going to make our connecting flight. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
And then you sat behind us like on that flight to LA, and then at Japan or like in LA, we were just talking like, blah blah blah. And then we ended up sitting next to each other on the flight to Tokyo.
Yeah.
And then, I don't know, we talked for a long time on that flight. And then Arthur ended up helping us like so much, like right in the beginning. Because like Austin and I got to Japan, we're like, wait, holy crap, we do not know what we're doing at all.
You don't speak Japanese very much.
I'm like, I spoke a little bit of Japanese, but I was only like less than halfway into my total Japanese studying time. And so we're like, oh, dude, this guy is like helping us so much. And so
I just want to say, just from my side, it was so funny because I spoke Japanese pretty well at that time. And I had never been to Tokyo before. And you guys were like, oh yeah, I've never been. And I'm like, okay, well, I can show you around. And in my mind, I'm thinking, I've never been to Tokyo before, but at least I can read the signs. So I can figure out something. なんとかなると思って。
Yeah, Austin and I thought like, oh, this guy's just this is like second nature to him. He knows everything that needs to be known about.
Oh, man.
Yeah, so so anyways, like we were trying to get to our guest house, and we couldn't, like, I don't know. It was in Nakano, and we couldn't figure out where to go, or like what trains to take. We're like, oh my god, we didn't even think about how to get there. And so I don't know. We eventually got to the right station, but Arthur's like, okay, actually, I gotta go my own way here. You guys can stop holding my hands now. So then Austin and I finally got to the right station, and then some random dude was like asked us if we needed help, and he just like guided us to our
you
hotel.
remember?
Yeah.
You told me about that.
Yeah, some random dude. So anyways, we got to our our place eventually, and then by 90% of the help of Arthur, and then 10% of this random dude. But then after that, like we ended up actually hanging out with Arthur like half the time that we were in Japan, and we were like, Arthur, what's somewhere good to eat? And Arthur was like, I'm going to take you to the best place ever. It's called Yoshinoya.
Yeah, dude, okay, let me just give a little bit of background, right? So I'm showing you guys around Shinjuku, around Kabukicho, because that was like the only place that I knew, because that was close to Nakano too, you know?
Yeah.
And we're walking around like, dude, I'm hungry. What's a good place to eat? I'm like, holy crap, I don't know anywhere good to eat. I look around, bright orange sign. I've never eaten here before, but I'm pretty sure this is good. Hey, Bryce, let me show you a place I like. Yoshinoya.
Yeah, and honestly, like, Austin and I just, like, loved it. We're like, this is great. Wow, this is so cheap. You know, and, like, we thought it was, like, a decent place. Because, like, honestly, compared to America, like, a cheap place in Japan is still a lot nicer looking than a cheap place in America.
Yeah,
like,
for sure. It doesn't smell like pee.
Doesn't smell like pee. Yeah. Like, thankfully. I mean, he smelled like pee.
Oh, come on, dude. Get out of here.
No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah. No, it's fine. Okay, anyways. But yeah, so that's kind of how we started. And then, so, but I kind of want to know, and probably everyone's wondering, how did you first get interested in Japan? Why did you think you wanted to go to Japan?
So, it's, I don't know. It's kind of a, maybe not a long story, but it's like a vague point as to where I decided.
Cliff Notes.
Yeah?
Give me the Cliff Notes version.
The Cliff Notes. Okay, so basically, I had an interest in Japanese culture, like back in like maybe middle school or high school. I just kind of was watching like anime casually, right? It was never really about anime, but I just like I didn't even know it was from Japan at that point. Anyways, so but then I made friends with people who really liked it. So then I once it came to high school, I was like, I had to learn a language, and I was like, I don't want to learn Spanish. Everybody's learning Spanish, so I thought I would try something new. So I learned Japanese, and I liked it. I liked Japanese, but I didn't like my teacher, right? And it sucked. So I dropped it. But then, like later on, when I started college, I went to my friend's college, and just to you know, see what it's like to be in a university kind of situation, because my school was not like a university. It didn't have like a campus or like dorms or anything. So at that place, at that college, I met Japanese people. Like I made my first Japanese friends. I'm like, wow, these people are really cool. I really enjoyed talking with them, and to this day, I'm still friends with like a lot of those people. And in the beginning, I was like, I don't understand them very well because their English is broken, and like I just can't even speak Japanese hardly. So I was like, you know what? They're good friends, and somehow we like each other, and I want to understand them better. So that was my first reason to start learning Japanese, or to continue learning Japanese. And then eventually, I was like, you know what? I want to go to Japan. I want to see what it's like there. You know, so and that's when I went with Austin, that story.
Okay.
So I was like, yeah, so I just wanted to know my friends better. And I also just kind of wanted to see other parts of the world.
Yeah, that's really cool. So you were there so when you went in 2013, how long did you go there for? I
was only there for like 14 days, and 2 of those days were travel days. Okay. So I was, mainly like 12, 13 days-ish. Yeah.
Okay, and then, and so you were there for 2 weeks and you traveled, and now you've been living in Japan for 4 years. So like, what's been something that's, I know it's a long time, right? Oh, I remember when we first met up in Shibuya when you had just come over. That's a long time ago.
I know, right?
But so what how do I say it? What has been something that surprised you, or something that was unexpected about living in Japan versus just visiting?
So like,
it's like you visited Japan for 2 weeks and thought, oh, living here would be like this.
Okay, so something specifically about living in Japan, not necessarily how my life changed.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's a really tough question, but I guess it's hard to say. But basically, I guess, okay, so a lot of it kind of relates to how like wide or spread out America is, like physically, right? If I want to go anywhere, if I just want to go see one of my friends, I need to have a car, basically. I need to drive. The public transportation in America is not that reliable, and it's at least where I was living, even though it was kind of a city. It was like the city next to Seattle, so it was a pretty big city. There was still not public transportation that could really help me do what I wanted to do on a daily basis. So I needed a car. So the culture of like having a car and driving everywhere to see your friends was like, it's completely different than, Japan. And like a lot of the times that I hung out with my friends in America, it's like they would come to my house, or I would go to their house, and we'd just hang out at each other's houses. Going out to like the city, like downtown, that's like a totally that was like a once a month, twice a month, maybe sort of thing. We go out and like, okay, it's an event. We're going to the bars. Like, but typically we would just be sitting at my place, like playing video games and hanging out. So like the whole thing of like moving the social time from like a house or an apartment to like outside and like pretty much always going out. That was a pretty big difference, you know. I mean, my life isn't just socializing, but while I was in college, I wasn't working at a part-time job actually. So a lot of the stuff that I did outside of school was just like hanging out. So yeah.
That's interesting. So ちょっと皆さんにちょっとお聞きしたいんですけど、そのブライスさんがおっしゃったように、なんかそのアメリカは車社会なんで、お家が比較的に広いので、まあよくお家で遊ぶことが多いんですが、日本ではそういう文化があんまりないと思うんですね。で、皆さんはやっぱりその友達と遊びに行くときに、まあ普段どんな場所に行かれますか？ぜひコメント欄で教えてください。if I do that, it helps like the conversation stuff, you know.
Don't worry.
I mean, they're watching us too. Okay.
いいですよ。
Okay, thank you.
全然いいよ。
Thank you.
So, yeah.
Okay, yeah, so.
But I was going to say like that's just one example of how like the proximity effect, not proximity effect, but the proximity of like how we meet our friends, you know, that's one thing that is affected by how spread out America is versus how, you know, condensed Tokyo is. And like that's just one example. Like I mean, just like getting anywhere, it's like I don't need a car. Like the way that we transport is completely different. And like just like going to the stores, like I walk everywhere and I have a backpack and I need to carry an umbrella if it starts raining, because like if it's I'm from Seattle where it rains so much. We just have a coat because like most of the time that we're ever going to be in the rain is like between our car and like the store. You know, we don't need to have a umbrella necessarily. We just have a coat. But like people are like, it's like raining that everybody's got their umbrellas. I'm like, God, like actually now that I think about it, I'm walking for like 20 minutes at a time, you know, if I need to be. So I have to bring everything like with me. You know, I can't put stuff in my car, like my backpack or my laptop. It's like I have to have like a backpack. It's like it's interesting. So like that was really surprising. I'm like walking, I'm like, wow, I have to bring all this stuff with me. This is annoying. Yeah. And then you're on the public transportation and it's so cramped a lot of the time. So I was like, holy crap, you know? Like it's Yeah, I miss that about cars. Like you have like the stuff that you can keep in your car just in case. You don't have that anymore. Exactly. It's like you're really on your own. And like having a car in Japan, it's like just having a car, you know that you got some money. Like and you're like that's
especially in Tokyo.
Yeah, especially in Tokyo. It's like and the parking fees. Like I never had to park anywhere, but like they're I can see how expensive they are. It's crazy. So that's I don't know. It's kind of one thing, like how close everything is in Japan, but it leads to a lot of, you know, different things that were just different than America.
What is it, like half the population of America is in the size of California? That's what Japan is, pretty much?
Okay, so actually the population of America is 330 something thousand, and then Japan. Wait, did I mess that up?
No, Japan is like 160.
Japan is 127.
127 now. Okay.
So I've done this calculation a few times because I thought it was really interesting. But basically, there is, so California is like about 1/26th of the size of all of America, and California is about the size of Japan.
Yeah.
So 127 goes into 336, like maybe 2.5 times.
Okay.
Something around like that. So basically, there's like. Yeah, maybe like a little less than 1/3 of the population of America in 1/26th of the size.
Yeah.
And on top of that, like most of Japan is like uninhabitable. Like there's mountains everywhere. And like, so you got like 11 million people, something like that in Tokyo.
Yeah.
Just alone. And like, in 11 million, that's like 10% of the entire population.
Yeah.
And that's like, it's like, it's
crowded.
insane.
Yeah, well, I mean, but that population density leads to some benefits like better transportation and stuff that we're talking about. Yeah. Like in America, everyone's just so spread out.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And the spread out things, like, so another reason why that's crazy is because like the mindsets of people in America are so different because there's so much space between us. Like you take people from the East Coast and the West Coast, it's like they think completely different.
Yeah,
like,
they do.
Yeah, but like in Japan, it's like you've got you've got people from different cultures and like different, like they speak different dialects, but generally speaking, they're all, you know, Japanese, and they're pretty unified in like their views. But in America, I mean, like, well, we can see that gets, but we don't need to get into that.
Yeah, we'll talk about that later in another episode.
Yeah, okay, yeah, sure. But it is pretty interesting. So it's
That's good to know. So now so you've been living in Japan for 4 years. You got a job here. Do you want to move back to the States sometime, or do you want to stay here?
So right now, I would like to stay in Japan indefinitely. Like my place of living would be in Japan, right?
Okay.
I think I have a lot more like opportunity. Like I don't know, this whole time that I've been like working towards living in Japan, I've kind of just been riding the wave. Like at first, I just had the interest of understanding my friends better, but every point where I've kind of followed like my desire to go live in Japan and see what that's like, it's led to something better for me. So I'm just kind of going along with that. So right now I'm just kind of still riding that wave.
Yeah.
But at the same time though, man, there is a lot of things that I do miss about America. And
like what? What do you miss?
Okay, so the things that I miss the most is like, it's actually not that much, but they are, they're not enough to make me, they're important, but they're not enough to make me want to move back. My family and friends, that's like the most important thing. Snacks.
Like what do you mean by snack? Like what kind of snacks?
Like Cheetos.
Cheetos?
Cheez-Its, like that shit. I
Dude,
wish
Cheez-Its are gross.
off.
I have to bleep that out now.
I mean,
it's okay. Don't worry. We'll bleep it for that, so you don't have to rephrase it. It's fine.
Screw off the bottle and drink it. Okay,
just keep on going. Keep on going. What other snacks do you miss? What other snacks?
Oh, like I mean, you can actually get Cheetos now here, which is nice. But like I don't know, just like various snacks, like Flamin' Hot Cheetos. You can't get. I know that. Like I don't know, I just miss being able to go and get those snacks whenever I wanted.
Okay.
Like the snacks in Japan are usually like they're just. I
Different.
like cheese a lot, so basically.
So there are lots of Japanese people who want to connect with international people, but they don't know how to. So, any words of advice on that?
Just be outgoing. Like honestly, if you come up to another foreigner, we're not going to expect that you can speak English. You know, it's like the fact that you're just coming up and saying hi is so awesome because honestly, I'm around so many people every day, like when I'm walking around, and like there's seems like a lot of cool people. Love to just be able to like go and say hi, but it's such a stiff like atmosphere, right? But if more people were to like kind of like overcome that and like maybe just go and say hi and just like kind of maybe not just like in random areas.
Yeah,
but like,
right. But be more friendly, be more outgoing, proactively talking.
Like practically speaking, like most of the time, like foreigners would be pretty happy. Well, I guess Western people would be really happy just to have somebody come and say, "Hey, what's up?" They'd be like, "Hey," like for me personally, I was like, if somebody just came up and said, "Hey," if someone just came up and said hi to me, I'd be like, "Hey," like I would be so ready to start a conversation. So that just to start, like just be friendly, ask a lot of questions because like. We'd like to talk about ourselves.
Yeah. So just keep on asking questions and proactively talking. Yeah. That's good because that's actually like what I teach. But I have to say, dude, we're running to the end of the film at this time. So it was really good talking to you. We talked about stuff a lot. No, you did a good job. We talked about some really good stuff.
Yeah.
But I can't wait to hang out with you again. Thanks so much for today.
Yeah, dude. It's always a fun time, Arthur.
Okay.
いかがでしたか？何より楽しんでいただけたらとっても嬉しいです。I hope you enjoyed it. I had a lot of fun talking with Bryce. 今後はいろんな方とインタビューしたいと思うので、その時に特に質問してほしいことがありましたら、ぜひコメント欄でシェアしてください。If you like this video and you want to see more of this type of video on this channel, please click the like button on here and tell me that you enjoyed it. And then if you want, you can watch another video up here. As always, enjoy your English adventures. 一緒に世界とつながりましょう. See you next time. Thanks for watching another video. I hope this video was helpful for you and enjoyed it. If you want to support us, you can click up here and look at some of our previous videos. If you want to help us financially and join our activities, you can click here for more information. And if you want to learn how to not just speak English in a lesson, but speak it in the real world, you can click right here.